Like my parents would take me along, but little did I know that I would actually be on that stage one day, because
Your environment was shaping your inspirations
exactly.
and casting seeds of
Yes.
destiny.
Yeah.
Grow.
I used to shun away from every opportunity that came in that aspect. Becoming characters, living with characters. And way back when I was younger, I wanted to be so many things. My mom wanted me to be something, my dad wanted me to be something, I wanted to be something. But the arts, film in particular, gives you the opportunity to be
relive
whatever
anything you want. That's the power of theater and film.
100%. Know who I am, but sometimes you want to explore so many different things. You have mixed and mingled with so many different people. You want to try out and be and see where they come from, who they are, what they experience, and the fact that acting or film gives you that much power
of influence.
Exactly. And to tell, like to live somebody's life,
Story,
to tell their perspective, because believe you me, everyone is right from their perspective. So you can never understand why someone does something until you are there.
Preach, Monica.
You
Preach
get
it,
it?
preach it.
Kind of suppressed over the years. The rage, because you're going to live a character that is either extreme in certain emotions that you have been suppressing all the years. So digging deep to get there is a process. And when you get there, getting out is also a process. That if you do not, some people lose themselves.
Yes, I was coming to that. Mental health in film and acting.
Welcome to Ask the Author, a show about inspiring stories and conversations by creatives and all forms of art, music, movies, visual art, authors, creative writing, poetry, dance, culinary art, among others. Brought to you by the multi-award-winning author, life coach, and poet, Richard Mwebesa.
Welcome back to Ask the Author podcast. It's been a bit. Thank you so much for tuning. Please like, subscribe, share our content and our videos with someone. They may be inspired, they may be blessed, they may be motivated by what we're sharing. I am your host, Richard Mwebesa, the multi-award-winning author, life coach, and poet. With me today, I have a very interesting guest on the podcast. She is a movie director. She's one of the leading movie actors in East Africa and Uganda, to be precise. She is a racer with motor sports, professional racer. Yes, a rally driver. True story. And she is also, I believe, an entrepreneur, person who does a number of things in business, but she will tell us more. Her name is Monica Jacobs Winyo.
Yes.
On set. Welcome, Monica.
Thank you so much.
It's good to have you, and thanks for honoring our invitation to talk to us, the Author podcast. On the show, we talk about stories, we talk about pivots, profiles, we also talk about inspiring stories about people in the creative space. Yes, and we share with the world. lessons. At the end of it, I tell lessons about what we've learned from the discussion. But that said, please just say hi to our audience.
Hello, everyone. First and foremost, I want to thank those who are watching the show. They are the reason why we're here. And of course, you for inviting me, Richard. Thank you so much. I respect you. After reading your book.
My first book.
Yes.
Out of the crowd.
Out of the crowd.
Yes.
You don't know what that book did for my life. And
really?
Yeah, it worked so much in me. And that's when I started holding you with higher regard than I was before.
Really?
Yeah, it's an interesting. People should look out for it if they haven't read it yet.
Really?
Yeah.
What parts of the book?
Where you talk about it's from you identifying who you are, truly are, and you know that also works hand in hand with knowing who you are in God.
Yes.
Because that is what puts you and sets you apart, and then you stand out of the crowd. Identity, yes, authenticity.
Yes, in the book I say we are human beings, and so when you find the reason for being, it becomes easier for you because we are people who become. We do not be do.
Yes.
We become.
You are.
Yes, yes. So I talk about keys, 3 keys that unlock the padlocks of life. The first key is finding out who we are, identities, as God created us to be. That in itself then elevates us and brings us into the state of being. Then when we become, it becomes simpler. And becoming is about the second key, which I call the key of purpose. Why am I here on earth? Yes, is the question that unlocks that for you. And of course, lastly, where am I headed by the choices you make or the decisions you make? So when you know who you are as God has created you to be, and then you know the reason, what we call calling as Christians, what am I called to do, and to be my purpose, the choices and decisions you make become easier because they construct the act of worship and true act of worship. Because when you are being that which God made you to be, you give Him God the glory, and if you live in His will as such, you reach your final destination.
100%.
I'm glad the book impacted me.
Yeah, it did a lot.
I'm so humbled, extremely humbled, of course, hearing that from a celebrity. Yes, Monica, sincerely, yes, I'm so honored. That said, just tell us more about who you are as Monica, what you do, what defines you, based on what you've said. Who am I?
Yes. Before anything else, I am a woman who loves God. I put God above and beyond anything I do. I'm a mother of 2 amazing children, boys, Israel and Nathaniel. I am a creative. I love to create things. I love to see something and ask myself, what do I add to that? How can I put my touch? How do I put myself onto that? So I love to create. I love to add something, add value to something. Then I love speed. Yeah. I love saying the phrase of I am light, because like the Bible says, we are light, we are the light into the world. Yes. And light is one of the fastest things, if not the fastest. Yeah, so yeah, in that aspect I love speed. I love things working out, and I believe in God working things out very fast. And that's how my internal being gets driven to motorsport, I would say. Yeah. Wow, interesting.
Yes. Yay. So how do you get into the acting, to be precise, and movies, directing, producing, writing? You also write scripts?
I write, but it's not
much.
something I'm so inclined to.
So how do you enter into the creative space generally? What draws you in?
I think it was a seed that was sown when I was little. My dad used to take us to the theater. He was a lover of the arts. During holidays, Christmas holidays, Easter holidays, there used to be plays at the theatre. And back then it was National Theatre that was very prominent. And so I remember watching 30 Years of Bananas. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, by Alex Mukulu. Thank you. They've done they've done other editions. Yes. And then I remember going to a Pride Theatre with my mom to watch school plays. Drum actors. I don't remember. Afri-Talent at Bath Valley. Yeah, so all those were, like, my parents would take me along. But little did I know that I would actually be on that stage one day, because
your environment was shaping your inspirations and casting seeds of destiny to grow. Yes.
Because if I'm to look back, in school I was a very shy girl. I would hardly come out to speak. I was coming from a very conservative environment. My mom is a staunch Catholic. I'm a Uganda woman. There's a way, those morals, they tell you not to.
Shaping you.
Exactly, not to be very outspoken. Or
be humble.
Be humble.
Actually, the right word is withdrawn.
Thank you. So you just wait for instruction. You don't take the lead and things like that. So I never saw myself on such a platform. And I didn't have also the confidence to stand in crowds. But I think it's that the fact that they used to take me to such places instilled something in me. And when my sister took me along when she went for an audition that was aired on, I think it was Radio Uganda. They were looking. No, Radio Uganda. It was a radio. So they do an audition call. My sister was interested. I used to just walk around with her during holidays, so I escort her. No interest whatsoever. So the director tells everyone to audition. Then I was left there. Then he's like, "How about you?" I was like, "No, I'm not interested. I don't think I can do it." He's like, "Okay, help us read for the people who are auditioning." I read, and he's like, "Wait, are you sure you're not here to audition?" I'm like, "No." It's like, "Just continue doing it."
Being in the right place at the right time.
Before I know it, they're like, "You are too good not to be in my production." And it is so bad that my sister, who was so passionate and had gone for it, missed out on the opportunity. But I, who was not interested.
I'll give you a bit of a context. I like what you say. I believe nothing happens as a coincidence. Nothing happens as happenstance. How I discovered that I'm an artist in my primary school, I was not part of the wildlife club. That day, they had made a call to the wildlife club members to go somewhere and participate in an art competition, fine art drawing competition. I was just there, so the patron of the wildlife club just finds me randomly because people didn't show up. Yeah, they just didn't show up. So he says, anyone who wants to come and go for a ride and at the zoo, because I was in Lake Victoria Primary School in Tebe, and have a gig. So I just hopped onto the van, go, they gave us crayons and a chimpanzee image and said, paint away. I didn't know I even had art in me. That was, I think, primary 5, primary 5. So I go, paint, we hand in the work. Months after, special assembly is called, and the headmaster says, the first time I'd ever had in my life, the word he said, you have put our school on the map. Those were the words I had.
Wow.
Special assembly. Yeah. I think it's the first time I appeared in a national newspaper. And my name was there as one of the national winners of a fine art contest. The person who was never meant to be there, I didn't know. So somehow, when you said that, it struck a chord and I was like, wait a minute. Sometimes you're discovered, yes, your potential or your possibilities. I love the book by Robert F. Schuller, pastor, of the Crystal Cathedral. Powerful book, amazing book. It's called Tough Times Don't Last, but Tough People Do. He speaks about possibilities. When you're in certain places, sometimes these things are woven in the grand schemes of things as God purpose us to be.
Yeah.
We are discovered in places where we least ever knew that we could remember the state of being I talked about, that we could be or even become.
Yeah.
So becoming comes from the state of being, and state of being comes from a state of expression and authentic expression. Yes, but carry on. I just want to give a bit of validation to your story.
Yeah. So, and while you were speaking, I remember I used to shun away from every opportunity that came in that aspect. Even when the only thing I remember that I tried, and because I was pushed and because I was little, there was entertainment home. We used to have mass at home, and
Prayers.
after, yes, prayers. So after the priest is done and they would,
Yes.
drum. So I would come, like everyone would come and dance. So even me, I was pushed along to dance. And I remember one time I danced. I don't know what kabengo is in English. That
Yeah,
kabe.
you feel the pain. Yeah, the pain.
Yes. So I got that pain and it was terrible, but I still stuck there and danced. And before my mom told me, I think you're meant for this. That's why you stayed behind.
Yes.
But yeah, I remember shunning all other opportunities in school. My hobbies, when they saw me the very first time on TV, and OGs were like, we did not see you there.
Yeah. Whoever knew I would write. If you ask most of my hobbies and OGs, very few knew I would write. As in the other forms of art. Yes, I actually, after winning that competition in primary school, I didn't follow the painting art, but art made sense to me. I always loved art. Anything art used to make sense to me. Yes, be it paintings, be it anything art, acting, be it writing. So me coming into the writing space as a creative was actually me starting writing music, writing songs. Wrote a number of songs, won national awards, gospel awards. Way back in the day, even Palm Award nominations.
Oh.
Yes, yeah, as they say, at a national level. Yeah.
That's good.
But that art frame later grew into another form. And I think now, I think my poetry came from writing music, because I used to write a lot of rap as a lead vocalist for a group called the Kingdom Dancers. So I used to write rap and rap poetic. So then way back, listening to music, I think the art frame was the well, I call it a well, the well and the fountain within me, in the art frame was beginning to unfold. And as I said earlier when we discussed offline, there are different kinds of art.
100%.
Yes, and those all unfold in different forms. Poetry, there's movies, theater, music, painting.
Like art is so diverse.
It's diverse.
And there was a time we were having a conversation of art and science. But when you look deep, even in science,
there's art.
100%.
There's an art in science.
100%.
It looks like an oxymoron, something that is, but it's true. There's an art in science. In every science, there's an art.
Yeah.
If you ask Albert Einstein, he will tell you. He says imagination is everything. It's the preview of life's coming attractions. Imagination. How do you visualize? We don't imagine. We don't think. We don't visualize in text.
It's in the
creative space.
Yes.
So even when inventors are inventing things, they invent from the mind,
yes,
the artistic mind, the creative space. So I think without a lack of a better word, there's nothing you can do. And when I was doing my first book out of the card, I researched 100 people world over, and all the pivots of what they did to become the centers of spheres of greatness was art at the center of it all. When I researched philosophers, leaders, I looked at all the major influential people, scientists, inventors, philosophers. Art was right in the middle.
100%.
And before we move on, there's something you mentioned earlier, your mom. And mothers are unlockers of destiny. When she saw you, and in the book I also write, I say, out of the cloud, our parents are the ones who first see our true authentic selves as expressions. When we're growing up, they are what we call tendencies, the things that come to us naturally, yes, without us trying so hard, and without doing the things that you literally do subconsciously, things that come to you as though people say, I can do this in my sleep, literally. So when they identify that and then they encourage you, they are basically casting a seed of validation. And when that seed of validation falls on the right soil, it grows. I was telling someone earlier on the show, everything that we see today standing has a structure, but everything that is alive feeds, and because it feeds, it grows, and because it grows, it matures, and because it matures, it has the capacity to flourish, to blossom, and bear fruit.
100%.
100%. So that's the blueprint of God.
Yeah.
And what He made for us in our identities. And you notice, God put every unique. When He says we are fearfully and wonderfully made, in Psalms, I believe that scripture without a created. The word fearfully means carefully. Yes, wonderfully means with awe. Yeah, with awe and wonder in itself. Meant that every human being God created is not a mistake.
Yeah, it's unique. We're all unique.
In the grand scheme of things, there is purpose in us. But the key thing is for us to dig deeper, to find, sequest, to dig deeper and discover that true seed God put in us. Sometimes it comes through pain, because most of the people I have seen and read about who became the authentic selves of themselves went through pain to draw out that aspect of themselves. So tell us more, as you're dancing, expressing yourself in the art frame, into theater. The radio story is quite interesting. Is that how Monica, the actor or the artist, is discovered?
I believe that's how I was discovered, but not intentionally.
Okay.
How I became intentional about the art was way after when he when he publicly declared that I'm going to feature in his film. Okay. I was like, okay, let me give it a shot.
What film was that?
It was oh god, it's been a while. I can't even remember. It had something to do with shadows, and unfortunately, it was not released. Back then, if I tell you the story, we would hustle to just have a copy. Okay. Many films back then got messed up in the editing sort. Okay. Usually, it would either be the sound is bad, the footage is lost, the tape is distorted.
Yes. Oh, those were the times where they're rolling film, what we call the films, the tape films, VHS.
Yes, back then. Okay. So, unfortunately, we didn't see the day of
light of day.
Light of day.
At least it discovered you.
It did discover me, and from then I've never looked back, because it came off with, it made acting so easy. It didn't feel like it was work. I was just reading and just being. You get it?
Instead of being.
Exactly.
You're becoming.
Yes.
Yeah, because when you first be, then you become.
Yes.
Yes.
It was just you reading the script and you're like, I think I've been here before. Let me just be who I was. And before you know it, you become that character, and the director is like, God.
Wow.
Yeah, so slowly by slowly, I get exposed to bigger productions, like John Segawa. The people now, from that production is when I graduated to the AfriTalent production. It was called Because of You. It was airing on NBS. It was going to air on NBS.
TV.
Yes. Okay. I think it's one of the first Ugandan productions to be embraced on TV. And I remember the AfriTalent talent was all there. The Patricos, the Abemuchibis, the Ruth Kalibala.
Those are the legends.
Those people are legends. Remember?
Of theater.
Exactly.
Yes.
And these are people I had
Bad
watched
Valley.
at Bad Valley growing up. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yes. As an actor as well. Monica, hold it there. The show is not about me, but it's about you. But hey, this art, this art. Somehow you go, but then it brings you back.
Yeah.
You see, when the way God does things, when God has purposefully made you as such, your purpose will always magnetize you and draw you into certain spaces, whether you like it or not. Now, when I'm at university, my first degree, Chambo University, I was very active in the performing arts. Yeah?
Very active.
Very active. I enrolled for Bachelor's of Management Science, but the arts were always drawing me somehow. So I was very active in the performing arts. So I had a friend, a roommate who was called Jackie, who had a roommate who was into Mad Valley, was in the lighting system. So I used to get free tickets to go watch the Afro talent. So somehow the acting frame kept drawing me back. So the patron came as a CSA casting agent on the costumes for the Chambogo University Performing Arts. He was head of department for the arts. Yeah, so when they came, the last king of Scotland came and they were consulting him on fabrics. Yeah, so he's like, Richard, there's an opportunity here. You're the guy in the space. Why not go? So he wrote a note for me. I remember Mr. Kimani gave me a note, so I went to Logogo. That's why they were doing the casting. Yeah, so I go and the casting associate and the agents get profile me, and then voila, that's how I go into Last King of Scotland.
Wow.
As an extra, not
Regardless.
a special. As an extra. Yeah, true story. Yeah, David on camera is surprised. Yes, I acted in the Last King of Scotland. True story. I remember that time it was Makerere University at the what's it called? The field right at Ivory Tower. That's where we were doing the costumes, makeup, changes. Yes, and then of course, how would you go to Forest Whitaker? You can't go near him. Those were the big. He was the main. Some film, yes. So somehow art, as I said, as you're telling your story, I remember you are unlocking memories in me that art somehow always draws you in these spaces. The environment somehow kind of draws you in. So when I was doing music, first video song got nominated in the Palm Awards. So the guys who were shooting it